Welcome everybody to the JKeSport Tier 2 Round 21. We're here from the Monza circuit in Italy today. I'm joined today for today's broadcast by Kachao, who's alongside me today. Kachao, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, looking forward to a great race. How about you?
Pretty good, yes. Should be an exciting one. Always lots of action here around Italy. Lots of straights, lots of opportunities for overtaking, and a few difficult braking zones as well. If we could just get a quick audio check just to make sure everything is looking good while we wait for the run to begin. Looks like we have our first driver heading out of the pits, and that's going to be Fruit Giver driving for the Aston Martin today. No rain, says from Monkey Mafia in the chat, so should make things a little bit straightforward. Appreciate that, Shelly. Everything sounds to be good. So, what are your impressions of this Monza circuit, Kachal? I mean, it's one of the more unique ones on the calendar. Very high power circuit, but what do you think is going to challenge these drivers today?
I think it's mainly going to be the updated curbs in turn 1 and turn 4. Before you could just basically jump over them, but now if you just touch it, you basically instantly get heated by it. And yeah, just in general, it's the main pattern of this game. Just try to be cautious in every single curb.
For sure, that's definitely going to be one of the things that these guys are going to have to look out for tonight. Mainly that second chicane, turns 4 and 5. That's going to be one of the more troubling spots. But through Parabolga now is Fruit Giver. He's going to be our first flying lap of the session. Kachal, why don't you take us around the flying lap of this circuit? Yes.
So basically turn 1 and turn 2, it's all about the braking and the rotation through here. Stay away from the curb like I mentioned before. Make sure you get a nice exit, straighten up the car as early as possible to get the power down. Then just run a tight line through here. Curva Grande I think it's called. And coming into turn 4 and turn 5. Carry the speed, don't touch any of the curbs. And again just straighten up the car. Going into the two Lesmos, again just carry the speed. Make sure you use all of the track. Same in Lesmo 2. Get a good run onto the straight. Going into Ascari. Ascari a very difficult chicane to nail. You can definitely cut the inside of the first corner as he does nicely. Don't get hooked by the curb. Be cautious on that curb a bit sideways out of there. Then coming into Parabolica, I don't know the new name. I think they renamed it early on the throttle, and I personally always try to make sure I get the shortest run to the line. It's a 122.5 to start things off.
Yeah, not a bad opening lap before the session. Definitely had that big snap of oversteer out of this car, but there's still plenty of time to improve. K-Dog is going to be next. She's coming out of Parabolica now. Up to line just a bit off that time. Looks to be a 23.2. That's good enough for second place for now. Spaceman just starting a lap as well. And Stephen A heading down towards Parabolica. He's going to be next across.
I love that username.
Exactly, yeah. Always makes me laugh every single time. He's had some good pace so far this season. Qualified very well in Hungary before an unfortunate incident earlier in the race. But up to line 21.6. Top of the board by nearly a second.
Do you know what we can expect for Paul? Because since the update I have no idea what the pace is around here.
Yeah, that's a tricky one because I think tier 1 we'll see probably around low 20s perhaps, but I think we might see a couple of these guys break into the 20s or maybe even low 21s. I think it's still going to be a bit touch and go in terms of that, but
okay. Because I remember being in the low 19s before the patch, I'm pretty sure that the new curbs cost you like half a second.
right. It's definitely all over the place, especially because I think they slowed everything down with that patch. Definitely,
Yeah.
certainly changed
Oh,
everything up.
and Retake retired. I'm not too sure what happened to him. I don't see yellow flags on the track.
I'm not quite sure about that. He was on track earlier. He gave a quick toe to Ray down the main straight on his outlap, who's currently going through a scar. He's on the medium tire, which is interesting. I think we might see a few guys try to get into the top 10 on that alternate strategy, which could be very powerful right here, especially with how powerful the DRS trains could be in the opening stint.
Yeah. Maybe just making sure to have a fresh set of softs for the race in case we get a late safety car, which is always possible around here.
That as well. Ray putting in fourth fastest time. That's very solid on the mediums. Shelley's up to the line again. He's also on the mediums, and he's well up in 21.6. That is a very solid time right there for the Mercedes driver. Also the championship leader. Scatzer jumping up to third, 22.0. That's another good time right there. The time's quickly dropping here. Trying to find the next runner on the lap, and I think that is just Secret in the Red Bull. He's making his way through Sector 2 now. He's had a good run of form as of late. Been a bit inconsistent this season, but he's definitely one of the guys to look out for tonight.
But I think the most important part for the race is just to stay with the guys ahead, because once you're out of that DRS chain, it's going to be nearly impossible to get back in.
Of course, I've seen it happen here before. These guys, they'll break out into quite a few groups just based on where the DRS is, especially with how powerful it is down the main straight, especially 21.2 from Secret, so that is a very good time on the softs though, so we might see Shelley put up a competitive time with that later on down the session. I think Chris Money is going to be the next driver on a flying lap. He's one of those guys, he hasn't really been able to catch a break too much this season. He's had his moments, and I think he's another one of the guys who's going to be competing for the front tonight. Very well through Ascari. This could be a very decent time. Looks like Secret in the Red Bull. I think he was on an in-lap though, so hopefully that doesn't affect anything too badly. Chris Money up to the line. He jumps up to second, another low 21. So time's quickly falling on in this session. Nerdy Average Gamer Johnny, he's out of the final corner. And a 21.7, so very competitive midfield early on tonight.
Yeah, I was about to say it's very close through the midfield. The whole field basically, considering they've all just said one banker lap. So looking very close so far.
Definitely setting us up for a very exciting second half of this session. Everybody getting out now for their second runs. I believe K-Dog has just started her lap in the Haas. I think that'll be... Not sure if there's anybody else on the lap right now. Secret claiming he went airborne on that crash. Yeah, but could have caught that inside curb on turn 4. That's deadly. It will do it to you.
Just sends you flying.
Exactly. Especially any contact with that during the race could lead to incidents, especially with how close drivers tend to run through there.
Yeah. It was always tough to go side by side through that chicane. It's going to be even harder now.
Right, it will generally lead to both drivers losing a significant amount of time.
Yeah.
But approaching the midway point of this session, Shelly the Turtle now the only driver remaining on the mediums, so most drivers are switching over to the softs. I think we've got Monkey Mafia and Kaz both on laps as well, but K-Dog is finishing up hers. She's coming out of Parabolica now. I will always call that Parabolica no matter what the name changes to.
Same.
Offline, so 22.7, so that remains in 9th place. Kaz is going to be next, driving for Ferrari. Matching a very nice red helmet, matching the Scuderia red. had a few struggles so far in the season, but he's always been a very consistent driver. We'll have to see if he can rebound with some good pace tonight. Up to the line. 23.4, so a decent opening lap for the Ferrari man, but still a while to go in this session. On with
meanwhile improving in sector 1, but he went a bit wide out of turn 5, that's a bit of a curb on the exit, so I'm not too sure if he's still up on his time.
Oh, is that,
1.5.
is that your tracking?
Stephen A. Smith.
Stephen A. Okay, well, yeah. Looking to be a very solid lap. Hit Ascari fairly well. In Parabolica, it seems a very simple corner, but it's definitely a bit easy to get wrong. So we'll have to see if he can hold it. Does very well on the apex, using up all of the track on exit. And he improves. And just ahead of Chris Money in the McLaren. So time's dropping fairly rapidly here. Monkey Mafia, he did finish out his lap, so he went 6th fastest with a 21.8.
Ray is improving by a lot in sector 1. I think it was just over 3/10.
Yeah, looking very solid. Coming down the back straight now. He's had a couple race wins this season. He's usually done very well with the strategy calls that have helped him out. That another purple sector too. Ooh, runs a bit wide there. Lucky to keep that lap valid. We're seeing times drop fairly rapidly here. I think it'll be just a matter of time until we see someone drop into the 20s. As that's Skadster going 2nd fastest at 21.3. Ray might be competing with that lap. And it's another 21.3, so less than a 10th, separating 2nd from 5th at the moment. Very tight field spread right now.
Yeah, the top 2, P2 to P5 within 800s, or almost 900s.
That's very impressive. Just shows how tight of a grid we have, and I think that's going to lead to an even more exciting race. Everybody heading back into the pits now for the most part, just getting set for their final runs of the session. We've got Fruit Giver, his lap is invalid, so we've got Spaceman is going to be the next to start a lap. Williams currently leading the Constructors' Championship heading into this race. Taking a look at the standings real quick. They have an 18-point lead over Ferrari, so not going to be enough to clinch it tonight, but definitely an opportunity for them to gain some nice points here. Spaceman into the first couple of chicanes. Does a nice job avoiding the curbs. Another interesting thing, we've got Fruit Giver in the Aston Martin. He's put quite a few laps on that set of softs, so we'll have to see if that affects him if he ends up starting the race on that set.
Shelly the Turtle is spinning on his outlet.
Oh, that's not going to be very good. Those tires are not going to like that, especially being so close to the start-finish straight.
Yeah.
He's in a very precarious spot too, but I think he's just about going to get things sorted. Jumping back.
I've seen. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, we're jumping back to Spaceman. I believe he's the next driver to cross. Was there something you were taking a look at?
Yeah, I'm looking at Nerdy Average Gamer, and I've seen him take the turn 4 corp like 3 times, and he went flying every single time.
Yeah, that's something you're going to want to watch out for tonight. He did invalidate on that occasion though, so he's going to have to reload and try again. Spaceman puts in a 23.6. That'll be a solid time. He's got enough time to reload and go again. We'll head back to Shelly. He's the current championship leader. I believe this is his first run on the soft tires as well, so it'll be interesting to see how his pace compares. Yeah, I believe that previous time was medium, so maybe not finding as much time. Did very well through the chicane and into the Lesmos now. He should be able to find Oh, goes onto the grass a little bit. That's not going to be ideal. Hopefully it doesn't scare too much of his time. Up to the sector 2 split, 3/10 up, so this could be placing him right around that front row. We'll have to see how he finishes off the lap. Very close.
Wasn't ideal for us, if you have some good time, I would say.
Yeah, still could be a very competitive lap. Let's see as he heads through Parabolica.
That was nice.
Yeah, very quick time. It looks like he's actually going to head into the pits, so...
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that seemed to be a very solid lap, but he must not have been too pleased with that.
Nerdy average gamer over 4/10 up in sector 2, but very, very wide through Ascalpi.
Yeah, hopefully that didn't cost him too much as he heads towards Parabolica. He only needs about a 10th to jump past Shelley, but he's going to want to contend with that tight group in the top 5 at the moment. Out of the final corner. And up to the line, he does improve a 21.5, so that'll put him 6th fastest right now. I think we have Kaz, he's actually well down on his delta, so we'll jump to somebody else. I think K-Dog is also well down on her delta. I think we've got Skadster, who's just starting a lap now for McLaren. Approaching the business end of this session, less than 2 minutes to go.
Oh, and that's the curve in turn 1.
Oh yeah, and he's run very wide. I think that's gonna force him to abort that lap. You see him running into the runoff area there. Luckily, he's still got enough time to go again if he wants to.
Should have enough time to get around again and try.
Absolutely, I think.
Yeah, just starting this lap.
Yeah, we'll go on board with Monkey Mafia. He's got some good pace, but he's got a bit of time to make up if he wants to be in a good starting position tonight. Let's see how he takes turn 4 and 5. Very smooth through there.
Cool. Decided to go down to third and fourth very late in the corner. Probably was staying in fifth.
A bit of an interesting decision there, but seems to have put a pretty tidy lap through so far. But Ascari, as we know, is a very challenging corner. Let's see if we can get it right. Nearly 5/10 up on the delta, so this could be promising. So we've got the majority of the field out there now for the final runs of the session. A bit wide on the apex of Parabolica, but it shouldn't affect him too much. Up to the line. And it's going to be a 21.6 for Monkey Mafia, so fairly good lap in there. Here comes Kaz, is going to be next to Cross. And he does not improve, so he will stay in 11th. Fruitgiver improves, but it's not going to be enough for him to gain any positions. Ray is going to be next to Cross, but he's well down on his time. Secret, provisional pole. He's just slightly up on his time through the first sector. Let's see if he can create a larger margin at the top. Over a 10th up on his time through the first 2 sectors. As we've now hit the end of the session, these will be the final laps. Heading down towards Parabolica is Secret. Let's see if he can find his way into the 1:20 20s. Taking the inside line, and he does not manage to improve, so he might have just backed off there at the last second. Stephen A. going to be next for Alpine. He does improve, but it's still not quite close enough. Scatcher heading into the pits, he's aborting his lap. Chris Money and the other McLaren, he's well down on his time.
Yeah, I think that's probably over.
I think that will be, yes. Monkey Mafia, he's on his in lap, and Chris Money is into the pits, so that is going to do it. So just Secret hanging on to pole with a 121.2. But it's a very tight field behind him.
I'm looking at the race director right now, and it says that he got 2 warnings in both his laps. So I don't know what that's about, but
Yeah, that'll be something to look out for. But Another thing to note as the session concludes, Shelly the Turtle, while he did make those runs on the softs, he did have his best lap on the medium. So starting from 8th place, he will be on the alternate strategy, which could give him a leg up on the rest of this field. Strategy, it's not a very big thing around this circuit, but definitely could play a factor. Just waiting, and that'll do it. It's a very solid qualifying session. We'll take a quick look through the final standings. Secret will be on pole. Ray will start in 2nd. Skadster is 3rd. Stephen A. 4th. Chris Money is 5th. Johnny will start 6th. Monkey Mafia 7th. Shelly the Turtle in 8th on the mediums. Fruit Giver is 9th. K-Dog 10th. Kaz is 11th. Spaceman 12th. And VTech will start 13th. So, very intense qualifying session. How do you think that went for these guys, Chow?
The top 5 are within 210, so I think I think someone like Chris is probably a bit disappointed, thinking, oh, that one mistake could have gained me like 3 places, but that's just how F1 is. One small mistake and you could be dropping loads of places. But apart from that, I think everyone now knows that it's basically everyone's race. Everyone can win this.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be very competitive from top to bottom here. I think it's going to be hard to bet against Shelly the Turtle. He's got a few places to make up, starting down in 8th place, but he is on the alternate strategy, and he has shown he has pace to win from anywhere on the grid. He's going to be my winner pick for tonight. But again, lots of drivers with good pace tonight. Perfectly clear skies. So I think it's going to be an exciting 27 laps from start to finish. Just got a couple minutes here before we get things underway.
I think the main thing Shelly has to watch out for is just make sure to not get damaged, stay out of trouble, and yeah, just try and stay with soft runners ahead as best as you can.
Exactly. If he can manage to stick within that DRS and just manage the race in that first stint, he can maximize the potential of his race. And we actually have a Steins in the chat. He's saying Kachali to sing the national anthem during the formation lap, or your national anthem. So
yeah, I prefer not to.
I totally understand.
We can have Stein join in and do that for me. I know he's obsessed with Germans, so why not do it for me, Stein?
Absolutely. So should be any second now we get this race underway. There's the timer, 30 seconds to go. Monza is always one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar. Should be lots of overtaking, lots of drama, possibly a few safety cars that are going to throw a wrench into things. So it's going to be about who can maximize the strategy and make all the correct calls in this race. Just a few more seconds, we'll be underway. All right. On the grid for the formation lap, we'll get everything set up. We'll take one more run through the starting grid for tonight's race. Secret is on pole. Ray will start in 2nd. Then it's Skadster in 3rd. Stephen A is starting in 4th. The other McLaren of Chris Money in 5th. Johnny is starting in 6th alongside Monkey Mafia in 7th. Then it's the lone medium runner in the top 10, Shelly the Turtle, and also the championship leader. He is starting in 8th. Fruit Giver is 9th for Aston Martin. K-Dog rounds out the top 10. Outside of the top 10, we have Kaz in 11th on the medium strategy. Spaceman in 12th, electing for the mediums as well. And VTech in 13th, electing for the hard tires. Bit of an interesting strategy choice. Don't see those too much around this circuit. You think that'll be a good call tonight, or how do you think that'll play out?
There are just, I personally think there are like 2 or 3 tracks maximum where I would start on hards, and Monza is definitely not one of them.
For sure. It could play on this factor if he wants to switch to, if he's hoping for a timely safety car and switching to a different compound early, but we'll have to see if that plays out for him. Interesting strategy starting from the back, but the field is going out on the exit of Ascari. Should be about set to get underway. It's a very long run down to turn 1. It's a very tricky braking zone to get right, so hopefully these drivers can navigate it okay, but it's going to be interesting to see who can capitalize the most. And the back of the grid is out of Parabolica now, getting set for this race to be underway. 27 laps around this historic circuit. If qualifying is anything to go by, we're going to have ourselves a very exciting time tonight. It's a Red Bull on pole, and it's the AlphaTauri alongside. And we've got 3, 4, and 5 lights. And we're underway here in Monza. Looks to be a good start from into turn 1. But Ray is fighting back with the Secret, and they're going to go side by side into turn 1. A little bit of contact as they go over the curves, but they're going to be side by side, and Ray is going to have the advantage through Curva Grande. Back to the field. The rest of the field seems to be okay. Side by side, Chris Money and Johnny as they head towards turn 4, but Chris Money's going to have the advantage. Everyone's made it through, so a very good start from these guys. Oh, that's... He did. It cost him a bit of time, but I think he's managed to right the ship okay. Everybody's following in the line, but now he's under a lot of pressure from Chris Money and Johnny behind. We've got Shelly the Turtle already making up a place on Monkey Mafia, and he's on the back of Johnny for 6th as well.
Also, I don't think you saw it, but VTech warming up his tires on the run into turn 1, which is interesting to see. So I don't think he quite managed to get them up to temperature on the formation lap.
Yeah, that's something very difficult to do with those hard tires. We've got Shelly on the inside of Johnny through Parabolica. This is for 6th position. Of course, no DRS yet, so this is pure straight line speed, and Shelly has not been able to make the move stick. He's got that advantage, but crucially, those guys have dropped out of that 1 second window, so the top 5 starting to pull a little bit of a gap early on in this race.
And just Secret pushing early to make sure he stays in DRS, already down to 60% on DRS. When he dropped Sketster out, I don't know if he made a mistake, but he's now 1.3 seconds behind Secret.
Yeah, there must have been a mistake, because Chris Money also got past Stephen A, so there must have been a little bit of a side-by-side battle going through the chicane, which has cost all of those drivers dearly, as now the top 2 have broken away, each out of DRS range, so it's going to be absolutely crucial as we're approaching lap 3 now. Ray still holding on to lead. Oh, that's a McLaren straight on.
What happened there? He just went straight out of Ascari. I don't know if his controller broke or something, but that is very, very weird.
That was a massive crash. Not sure if he may have caught the inside curve on the second apex and just lost control. But a very interesting incident. The virtual safety car has been deployed for that. Don't think we'll see any takers into the pits, and yes, everybody will be staying out. This gives everybody a bit of a reset, and also opens up the gap for the top 2. They now have 2.5 seconds, or about 2 seconds, down to Chris Money, so they might be able to pull away and open up this race for him.
I'm trying to clip my POV right now, but it's not working because it looked like he just went straight into the wall out of Ascari. Didn't look like. Oh, and Steven Ace Brana and Christian. Steven A definitely got a drive through. I don't know about Chris. Yeah, they both got drive through.
Yep. That's absolutely massive. Very detrimental to the race. Luckily, if they can get in and out, they'll be right back in with the safety car. So still a lot of time for them to recover, but that's not what they wanted to happen on lap 3 of this race. So we're tracking this midfield battle all the way down from Chris Money in 3rd to Shelly in 7th. And this is exactly what Shelly wants. He doesn't need to make up all these positions. He just needs to maintain this gap and not let the leaders get away from him. Looks like Chris Money and Stephen A will both be into the pits to serve their drive-thrus. So very unfortunate, but we've got Monkey Mafia looking to the outside of Johnny and towards turn 1. Oh, they're side by side. I think Johnny's just about going to be able to hang on.
Andre is just putting away already a 4-second gap to just Secret.
And he's shown some very impressive pace early on in this race, which is exactly what he...
Oh, and the average gamer just Secret. Wow. And
that was very close to there. Monkey Mafia was that cost him the most of that. He dropped all the way down to 5th on that occasion, but still within range. And everybody's very squirrely on the exit of Lesmo too, but it's been quite a dramatic frenetic start to this race. But the race opened up. It's been a 4.2 second gap now. Oh, that's Spaceman who's had a spin out of Scary. He's managed to keep the car intact, but I think he's going to have to come into the pits. It's not what he would have wanted, but he will still be in the race. But jumping back to this battle for 3rd, it's heating up again as they go down the pit straight.
Oh, Shelly and Nerdy.
That was very close.
Good racing though, no contact.
Yep, it's not easy to go side by side through that chicane, but they were both able to do that. And Johnny is doing a very nice job defending these positions at the moment. He's been under fire multiple occasions now, but still hanging on to 3rd place.
Ghosting on, by the way. Oh! Yeah, ghosting is not on. Oh, it is. Did you see that?
Yeah, Shelly, he caught the inside curb there. And is that Johnny who's gone off as well? So not sure what happened there, but...
there was a synchronized spin. They both just did the same thing.
Well, Johnny's gone off again and he's gone into the wall. He's luckily not DNF in this race, but he may have rear wing damage to that car. But Shelly had another spin. Somebody else collided with him. I'm not quite sure who that was.
Well, somehow Shelly is still in P5. I don't know how he... yeah, didn't lose him too much time apparently. He's right behind Monkey Mafia.
That was a very bizarre incident. Monkey Mafia, he must have been the one who collided with him. Someone ran into the side of Shelly. I'm guessing that was Monkey Mafia.
Yeah, he's pitting for new front wing. I'm
That's
assuming he will pass and then try to finish the race. Oh no, he's going mediums. Interesting.
Yeah, medium tire, they definitely do last quite a while around here, but 21 laps is going to be quite a bit of a stretch.
Obviously always possibility of a safety car, so maybe he's betting on one, or he's very confident in his tire wear.
Yeah, either way, I know Monkey Mafia, he always seems to play the strategy right, so this could be something that he could come back to him at the end of this race. If it works out in his favor, he could essentially have a 5 or 6 lap undercut on the rest of this field, so still a long way to go. Chris Money and Stephen A, they've been in this battle for 8th now for a few laps after serving their drive-thrus. Stephen A has the advantage for now, but
Meanwhile, the gap at the front is it's increasing a bit now, but it stayed the same for a few laps now. After Ray just pulled away a lot in the first few laps.
Yeah, so it could be this race coming back towards the Secret in this second half of this first stint. Perhaps Ray gave it all he had to try to pull out that gap, which may have actually been beneficial to him, but Chris Money, he's right on the back of Stephen A. I think he's going to have this move done in towards turn 1. And he will be through up into 8th place. So starting to make his way back up through the field after serving that drive-through. And within all that chaos, Fruitgiver, he's made his way up to 3rd, staying out of trouble so far. They got a bit of a gap to the front too, but he's put himself in a very solid position so far.
I think we definitely have to, as you mentioned before the race, we definitely have to look out for Shelly. He's already up into P4. He is, I think, like 12 seconds behind the lead, so it's going to be a tough task to make all that time up. But nothing's impossible, I guess.
Certainly, we know he has the pace to do it, so he's not too far behind the leaders in the net race overall, and he will have the advantage on the second half of this race. Secret is into the pits, so maybe a bit earlier than we predicted. Not going for a wing change, just a fresh set of medium tires, but I think that it's a bit earlier. You think this could work out for his favor in a nice undercut?
He was in P2, so I guess he doesn't have to. He has to do something different. So I would say it's a good call. Try and get a bit of an undercut boost. Kaz just went off. Turn 2, I think.
Yeah, Kaz, he had a bit of a moment there. He was in 6th place. He's dropped behind Chris Money and Stephen A. They were both closing up on him very quickly, but that's given them both the position. Shelly is on the back of Fruitgiver now. This is for 2nd. Just about within DRS range, so might be fancying up a move here. The medium tires might be the advantageous ones to be on at the moment. These softs start to wear out a little bit.
Yeah, I would say the mediums have been faster for maybe the last 2 or 3 laps. Maybe not 3, but the last 2 laps. That's why I assume that we're going to see the soft runners pitting probably around now, maybe in a lap or 2, and Cass is in AI and just spun coming back.
Yeah,
very
that's
interesting.
That's not something you want to see every day, but it looks to
a speeding penalty. Oh no.
That is very unfortunate for his race. He's just not going to be able to serve that now, so he'll have to carry that at least for a while. So he was having himself a fairly good race. Comes back out in 8th place. Still quite a while to go. And there's, oh, that's K-Dog who's spun around on the exit of turn 1. So that's one of those tricky low traction zones.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Don't think she's picked up any wing damage, but gonna cost a bit of time. Chris Money worked his way back up into 4th now. He's trailing VTech, who's ooh.
That's exactly what you don't want to do in turn 4 and turn 5.
Yeah, he hit that curve quite aggressively there. And he's coming up in the back of VTech, who started at the back of the grid. He's currently sitting in 3rd place. He's got a bit of a gap to the leaders ahead, but definitely finding himself in a good spot so far. And Ray is into the pits. So he must have seen a Secret coming in behind and elected to cover off that undercut. Secret's in a bit of...
Sorry?
I was just going to say, Secret's in a bit of clean air, so he's going to be absolutely pushing at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out. And Ray's also coming up against a fairly large group of traffic. Let's see if he can get out ahead of them.
Dylan comes to the lead ahead of Ray, ahead of Secret, but gets past behind, comes out behind his teammate.
I don't imagine they'll stay that way for long. Maybe a bit of team orders in play here. crucial thing for Ray is he's now lodged Chris Money and Stephen A in between him and Secret, which is going to be very beneficial to his race.
And so far, VTech is not moving for his teammate.
Yeah, that's a bit interesting. I expected we'd see a bit of Team Wars in play, but perhaps they're lining himself up for the straight. Does not seem like that way though.
VTech, it's James. No, he's not moving.
And maybe
I mean, they obviously have, but I would imagine they are working towards a team.
Yeah, perhaps the call from the Alpha Tower team boss is to let them race it out, but that's not gonna be what Ray would have wanted. As that's Secret.
Oh no.
And he's gone for a spin at a Ascari, and I think he's managed to keep it out of the wall, but he's gonna cost himself dearly in terms of time. And looking back at Ray, he's gonna be flying past VTech here on the main straight with those fresh medium tires. So everything's starting to turn towards the favor of Ray. Chris Money hanging on to that group despite having 10-lap old soft tires. He's holding on to them and extending this spin. If they do get a safety car, he could find himself in very good position. We've also got the Secret who's closing up on the back of Fruit Giver now, trying to recover himself after that spin. We know he has the pace, but now he's got some traffic to fight through. Chris Money on the back of both Alpha Tauris, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. He's got a bit of a gap behind, but oh, Secret and Fruit Giver side by side down towards the Ascari. This could be a bit touch and go.
Ooh. Fruit Giver backs out though.
Very smart. Oh, that's Shelly. He's gone for a spin at the exit of Parabolica.
Oh no.
And he's heading into the pits. So he must have wing damage.
Yeah, that's his race and strategy ruined.
And he's going to have an awful lot of comeback drive to do now as Chris Money on the inside of VTech for second place. Bit of a lockup, but he gets the move done. So Chris Money dragging on these soft tires quite a bit. Secret making up another place.
Yeah.
And Shelly's forced to go to the hard tires, so his strategy's been turned upside down for the moment. Still a long way to go in this race though.
If we don't get a safety car and Ray doesn't win it, he can just push to the end. His lead to Secret is now up to, wait, let me put it on, up to 14.4 seconds.
Yeah, he's definitely in a very good position at the moment. But still...
It's not though, no commentators first.
Yeah. It could happen, it's happened before, but still a long way to go in this race. Just approaching the halfway point. The Fruit Giver is approaching just behind K-Dog, and he's not quite going to make a move into a Ascari. He's going to be a bit conservative with that. Monkey Mafia is right behind as well. Ooh, very big snap of oversteer. Monkey Mafia takes advantage, finding himself back up into 6th place. Chris Money finally diving into the pits to get off that set of soft tires. So that just leaves VTech as the only driver yet to make a stop in this race. Give her a bit deep there at turn 1. It's going to cost him a bit of time to Monkey Mafia.
And VTech's still going strong on his hard.
Yeah, he's had some fairly good pace on that. He's made his way up to 2nd after starting from the back of the grid, so it'll be interesting to see. I'll assume he's going to extend these as long as possible and then go to a soft stint, which is going to give him quite a lot of pace at the end of this race.
I would guess he should fit around that 18, 19 maybe.
For sure. I think that would give him the best opportunity at the end of the race. Perhaps holding up for that safety car as well. But another thing I think I've found interesting so far, over halfway through this race, nobody's picked up a penalty for corner cutting yet. Which is,
yeah, true.
That's a very good, it's very good accolade to these guys.
It's very rare. You usually get a lot of track limit penalties around here.
Certainly, yeah.
Maybe the fact that you can't cut turn 1 and turn 4 anymore helps a little with that, but even then you can still run wide in both last moves, and you can still cut Ascari, so still enough corners to get warnings.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely an accolade to these guys, as I said. So, but that's another thing to keep an eye on as we approach the end of this race. They can still come out and bite you if you're not paying attention. Monkey Mafia, he's making up some very good time on this medium stint, and he's near the back of Secret as well. And that would be for net P2. Not quite within the DRS window, but he will be within range shortly.
That's yellow flag.
I'm not sure what that was. I think it was in the range of Johnny and the Williams, but he didn't seem to be going very slowly or anything, so not sure what that was for. That's Stephen A is out of the race, and that's a virtual safety car. I think that's happened.
That's a full safety car.
And this has worked out perfectly for VTech. And this has changed, I think.
It's even better for just Secret.
Yeah, I was gonna
because
say,
he can now pit, and Ray is already way past the pits.
yeah, both AlphaTauri's missing the pit entry. Everybody else diving in for a fresh set of tires, but crucially they are ahead of the safety car, so they won't be limited by that for the moment. It's still going to be a great advantage for the rest of this field. Split decision, some softs, some mediums here. I think that's a very difficult call to make. What do you think would be the preferred tire to go on now?
Softs, 100%.
Yeah,
you will get like 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car, so it will definitely make it to the end. And you're just going to be way too slow without if you go for the mediums.
I agree. I think that's something what the majority is going on here. Secret, Fruit Giver, K-Dog, they went on the mediums. Chris Money, Shelly, Johnny, and Monkey Mafia all going to the soft. And we're looking at the top 2. I imagine we'll see both of them in, considering they've got quite a massive gap. They're both going to be able to come back out in first and second.
Yeah, this is perfect for VTech. He's going to get a fold up a bit, but Codemasters did increase the speed of double stack, so, and even then the gap to just Secret is so huge. He will definitely still be P2.
And he does execute that perfectly, and he's got a fresh set of soft tires on, so
Secret went mediums.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised by that.
Okay. Well, maybe he didn't have a fresh set of softs left, but even then, I would think that the 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car would be enough to get them to the end.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't expect it, but again, who knows? There's still a long way to go, and he's still in a good position. He's got enough pace to still be able to contend. But looking very solid for both AlphaTauri drivers at the moment. The Fruit Giver, he was able to serve that 5-second penalty he picked up, but unfortunately he picked up another 5-second penalty for speeding.
The 6 changed.
Right, it's not what he would have wanted, but he's got enough time where he can clear that.
K-Dog on hards?
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting call. I'm guessing she didn't trust the softs to get to the end, and she was on the mediums and had to switch compounds, I believe. But I was wondering if she'd go back into the pits and switch that up, but it does not look like it. Space Benny came in and put on a fresh set of softs as well.
And Cass is pitting. I also don't know why he's pitting again. He
I'm not
already
too
had
sure.
fresh softs on, so he
Going to
didn't
another.
have a penalty to get rid of.
He's gone to another set of softs. The only thing I can think of is if he wants to shave one lap and wear off those tires. But I mean, it's under the safety car. It shouldn't affect him too much. But
No, and he has to get a move on now to catch up to the field again. So that the one lap fresh tires won't really matter now.
absolutely. Is there a max amount of laps the safety car will give you to catch up before it decides to come in anyway, or will it? I'm not entirely sure.
It usually waits for the last guys, but it for example, if someone pits like 3 times, it's not going to wait. So I do think he has to get a move on. He can't just coast and wait for 3 laps. I think the safety car will come in at some point.
Right. Luckily, it's a very high-speed circuit, so I think he will make his way back up to the field. But let's take a rundown of the situation where we are at the moment. Ray is in the lead, as he has been all race, on a fresh set of softs, in very good position. He's got his teammate VTech behind him, played the strategy very well, holding on in second. Secret is third. He's on the medium tire, but still within striking distance. Monkey Mafia is fourth. Fruitgiver is fifth on the medium tire. Does have that 5-second penalty as well. Then it's Chris Money in 6th. Shelly the Turtle is 7th. He switched off the hards back to a set of softs. It's Johnny in 8th, and then Spaceman is 9th. K-Dog is 10th, and Kaz is 11th at the moment. So we're coming to 10 laps to go. I think we're going to have at least 1 or 2 more laps under safety car, which is only going to play further into the soft runner's hands.
So I assume if Kaz is not at the field at the end of lap 18, the safety car will go without him. So I would say he has 1 more lap to catch up. That's just what I'm assuming. I'm not too sure.
That's certainly possible.
He's very far back still.
Right, that's definitely something to keep an eye on. It's been a good race so far. We've had a couple guys get caught out by the curbs. Ascari seeming to be the trouble spot as we expected. But it's going to be quite the duel to the finish. Spaceman is back into the pits. So not sure what's up with that. Let's see if he's going for a fresher set of tires or a new front wing, or he's just going back to another set of softs. So there's an interesting call there, but
And Kaz is pitting again?
that is certainly something. But
And he's going soft again. Yeah, I don't think he's going to catch up to the field. I'm now certain that the safety car will come in. I'm very confused by this, I have to say.
he's gone back to that original set of softs he put in on that first safety car set or stop. But we're approaching the safety car line now, and it will be in this lap. I think we've got Spaceman coming up behind. I think he'll just have enough time to catch up to the field, but
Spaceman will be with the field, but Kaz is not going to make it. There's no way. I think he would have made it if he didn't pit again, but now.
yeah, certainly.
Well,
we're gonna have, I believe, 9 laps of racing to go. We've got 3 Honda powered cars out in front, and Ray, I think he's put the pedal down to the floor, and we're back underway. There's a pretty good jump on the restart. Pretty good from everybody. Fruitgiver didn't have the best launch, and now Shelly and Chris Money are looking to get past just behind. Of course, no DRS, so it's not quite close enough to make a move. Chris Money's going down the inside, a little bit of contact, and Fruit Giver's going around. And he's gone off at turn one after a little bit of contact from Chris Money. That's a very tight corner. And now Johnny's pulled up in this battle as well. Look at the straight line speed from Shelley. To the outside of turn 4. Oh, that's very close. Very good driving.
Monkey Mafia into P3 past Secret on mediums.
Yeah, that's a very nice overtake from Monkey Mafia as well. But even now in just the 2 sectors, they've lost 2 seconds to the AlphaTauri's ahead.
Or just Secret trying to get the position back into Ascari.
Oh, he's going to go for it. A little bit of contact. No, Monkey Mafia's going around.
Oh no.
Oh, they were trying to go side by side into one of the most toughest corners on the track, and 2 cars into one is almost never going to work. But Secret, he's made his way back up to third, but he's still got a long ways to go. And Ray's just put in the fastest lap of the race. Looking very good right now. So things starting to settle down after that restart. We've got quite the battle here for the final podium position from 3rd all the way down to 6th.
I do have to apologize to VTech for doubting. Whoa! What? Oh, never mind, it was lag. I thought that Shelly just lost it, but he's lagging like crazy for me. But yeah, I have to apologize to VTech for doubting his hard strategy.
Yeah, it certainly played out well for him. He got a well-timed safety car, and he's now in very good position for 2nd place or even a race win with a few laps to go. Worked out very well from the back of the grid for him.
Just Secret defending very early, despite Shelly being half a second behind, and he went defensive into Ascari.
Cleaning that inside line, and of course we're gonna have, I believe, this lap we will see DRS being enabled. So everybody's just waiting for that extra speed. Spaceman and K-Dog going side by side in a parabolica. Spaceman taking 7th. Monkey Mafia getting past Fruit Giver once again, so he's recovering back up to 9th. So quite a few battles shaping up throughout the field now. Still sticking with this battle for 3rd, as this is involving 4 drivers, although Chris Money, he's dropped out of the DRS range, which is going to be crucial here as we approach the final few laps. Secret still holding on to 3rd.
I'm assuming Shelly will get past now very easily with DRS turn on again.
Yeah, this could be the opportunity here heading down to Ascari. It's not the easiest place to get a move done despite having the DRS. As you can see, Secret, his battery's flashing already.
Yeah. Shelly waiting for the main straight, didn't use any of his EIS.
Yeah, probably not a bad idea there. Then you don't give Secret the opportunity to come back. These guys are dropping off quite a bit from the lead too, which is not going to be what they would have wanted. But Shelly is very close here. He's surely going to have the move done down the straight. And he will. So up into 3rd on these soft tires. Chris Money being pulled back into this battle as well. Three seconds is the gap from Joey to VTech, but we'll have to see if he can make it up to the front. We've only got 6 laps to go. It would be quite an ask for him to do it, but it's possible. Monkey Mafia back up into 8th place now.
I think Shelly is just making sure he's limiting the damage as much as possible after spinning out of parabolica. He obviously got very lucky with that one safety car, but still P3 is a great result after that spin.
Exactly, and he's in line to extend his championship lead even more which is probably the big picture thing that he's trying to focus on at the moment. He is closing the gap to the leaders a little bit. I don't think it's gonna.
Around. Yeah, that's spinning. Oh, and that's a VC.
I think he's missing the entirety of his front wing.
Yeah, he is.
Don't think we'll see anybody duck into the pits though. Just 4 or 5 laps to go.
Yeah, you won't be able to make up enough time if you pit now, so well, you won't have enough laps to make up the lost time. That's what I wanted to say. Let's see if we get any drive-throughs. Let's hope we don't.
Yeah, that's the one thing that you don't want if you're in a good position right now, because it can be absolutely killer to your race.
Yeah.
Oh, Monkey Mafia. As you said, he does pick up a drive-through, and that's very unfortunate. Just a couple laps to go.
I assume he would still stay in points. Yeah, Kaz is pitting, so he would still be P10 even after selling the drive-through.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Fruitgiver and K-Dog, they were going side by side into the chicane.
Oh, and K-Dog is around.
Yeah, there's a bit of side by side going through there. I think they made it through without any wing damage though, which is crucial. But the gaps are starting to come down at the front. VTech is within 2 seconds, and Shelly's got it down to 2.5.
Wow. Look at the AS difference between Ray and VTech though.
Yeah, Ray, he's just absolutely coasting at the front.
Oh, and then it's Monkey Mafia around now. His race has gone from bad to worse after picking up the drive-through.
Yeah, he's had quite a bit of struggles tonight, but he's still staying with it. But not the night he was hoping for. Johnny's dropped off that battle for third a little bit, sitting in a solid P6 at the moment though. But the battle for the final podium position has dropped down to just the last 3 guys, then Monkey Mafia calling it a night.
Oh, that's interesting. He would have still gotten points, so I don't really know why he quit. I understand that he's frustrated, but he just gave up on an easy point.
For sure, that's been a tough night overall. But our focus right now on the top 5. Shelly is still making a little bit of progress, but I don't think it's going to be enough, especially for the race win. VTech is going to be doing his best Alonso impression as we approach the final stages here. Chris Money is near the back of Secret as well, and he's got quite a massive ERS difference. He might have an opportunity to get through here.
Oh yeah, that's going to be an easy move for Chris Money down the main straight. Nothing just Secret can do. He can weave all he wants, there's no way he's keeping that position.
That's one of the worst feelings as a driver, when the other driver behind you just has the DRS and ERS deployment and there's nothing you can do. It's a difficult feeling. But Shelly, look at the gap now, 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, I think VTech made a bit of a mistake. He lost like a second in a few corners to Ray, so...
He's dropped off quite considerably, but again, there's not going to be enough time for anything drastic to happen here. We've only got 2.5 laps left in this race.
Shelly has to try and get DRS this lap.
Absolutely.
Use his ERS and just get within DRS range, so he can maybe go for a move on the last lap, but yeah, this doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Could very well be an AlphaTauri 1-2 here from Monza. Is that Secret? That Secret who's gone for a spin at Ascari. He's gotten it right back on track fairly quickly, but he's going to lose out on this on a place to Johnny, who's jumped up into 5th. And his front wing looks okay, but...
And that was just Cass standing at the exit of Parabolica. I think he's lost another front wing and he's going back.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a spin there and he's been disqualified.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate there with just 2 laps remaining, but
And this AI does not know where this game.
I know, it never fails to surprise me, but we're approaching the final lap of the Grand Prix. Ray's looked very solid from start to finish. He's got 3 seconds to VTech behind, and he's just got to bring it home now. He's been putting on a clinic today. He's played everything to I believe he's led every single lap except for the first couple and at the pit stop, so very good from start to finish.
And instead of Shelly looking to get P2, it might be Chris trying to snag a podium place from Shelly.
Yeah, he's worked his way back within that DRS range, and if he can get a nice run, he might have a luck, although he's going to be a bit too far back on this time, but he might be able to line up a move into a Ascari. You can see Shelly's red light flashing as they approach turn 1. He's got one more good look. He's going to have a perfect sector 2 to be close enough, though. Still,
Shelly is blinking. He is out of ES.
You can see that gap is definitely coming down. Right along with Chris Money here through the final couple of Lesmos for the final time.
Missed the apex a bit, that wasn't optimal.
He's still within striking distance, though. Don't think he's going to be close enough. He could set himself up for a good run down towards Parabolica. Looked to the inside. Thought better of it. Shelly got a bit of a better exit, and I think he's going to be able to hold on. Chris is giving it everything he's got.
Oh, this is going to be close.
It's going to the outside. Side by side into Parabolica. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Ray's going to come across to take the Grand Prix victory. VTech will be second. Up to the line.
Oh, 7,000. Wow.
Very close. Shelly the Total snags the podium place. Chris Money is 4th. Johnny will cross the line in 5th. Just Secret will finish 6th after spinning with a couple laps to go. Spaceman is going to come across to finish 7th. Fruit Givers had a bit of a spin at the exit of Ascari. He's managed to get it going then. I think he's going to be able to hold on to 8th place, but what a battle up to the line we had for 3rd. Chris Money
I think it was probably the closest finish I've ever seen.
And Chris Money made quite a surge on that final lap, but it was not quite close enough. Fruit Giver does come home in 8th, and K-Dog finishes 9th to round out the field today. So it's a very entertaining Italian Grand Prix. AlphaTauri finishing 1-2 tonight. VTech from the back of the grid. We'll take one last look at the finishing order for tonight's race. It was home the race win and the fastest lap. VTech finishes 2nd, Shelly the Turtle 3rd, Chris Money 4th, Johnny is 5th, Secret finished 6th, Spaceman 7th, Fruit Giver 8th, K-Dog 9th, Monkey Mafia 10th, Stephen A 11th, Scazster 12th, and Kaz 13th. Nobody picking up a corner cutting penalty tonight. Very impressive showing from these T2 guys. But for Kachow, this is myself, Scabby. It's been the Tier 2 Grand Prix. That's all for tonight. We'll catch you later for Tier 1.